All right, we're back again today. Welcome back to the channel. We are going to move in the direction of the floor pan, and I say that because I have to address something first before I get ready to get that in. At least this is the way I want to do it now. So I have a firewall issue, and I was trying to decide if I was just gonna take all this out at once or put the floor pan in and then do the firewall after, but I think I've decided I'm gonna do this section here. That way this is all done and I'll maintain this seam for when I remove the floor pan. But yeah, so I'm gonna get started with that first and then we'll roll into the floor pan. So let's get to it. Oh, and the other thing I want to add too is I know I was saying I was doing this, well, those other pieces I was doing was scrap metal that I had laying around. So the backstory of this is this was my brother's truck originally, and then he kind of decided he didn't want to take it on. Before he decided that, I actually bought these two panels for him like 2 years ago, so that's why I have them now. So yeah. So we're gonna make this neat little piece that goes like this, and ideally a bench vise or a bending brake would be great, but sometimes this is all you need. Take advantage of another sharp edge like that, and a nice block there, and a C-clamp and a hammer, and just start hammering away. Tap it over. Done. Just about done, but sometimes I don't like flux core. Burn right through it. Now I gotta fix the hole again. Just got done patching up the firewall. It's not like show quality or anything like that, but you know, we got solid metal. So for now I got it, you know, primer sealed, protect all that metal. The most important thing is we got this all good now. So now we're gonna be moving on to, I'm pretty much taking this whole thing out, just like that. All one piece, just going. And then that way I'll get the floor pan, that'll go in, and then the cab mount will go in over top. And I got my weird hieroglyphics here. That's just, I took some reference marks because luckily I still had the original mounting hole. If not, you know, I still would have figured it out one way or another. But just some reference marks, like from here to this flange, like with everything square and how far out it is from the front flange, which that's one of the reasons I wanted to rebuild this flange. Is not because that'll be one of my reference points that's solid and I know it's not going to move. So that's good. So we got that part done. So floor pan time. Okay, I just got done, took out the 3 bolts for the gas pedal. I was gonna do the brake pedal, but it's that big one up here and I sort of don't feel like messing with it. But it's not like laying on the floor like the gas pedal was, so that's gonna stay. But now we can get ready to zip, pretty much that. All right, just ignore the dog in the background. But so I got big piece cut out, test fitted it. Actually fits pretty good for just this and throwing it in there. But my experience with these floor pans, I mean, you guys can leave a comment if you've done anything different, but it's easier, especially with so much going. If you're doing the whole pan, you want to, at least I have taken it a little bit above this corner, because I found that this corner or the round, you know, the bend here. Trying to match it up with the aftermarket doesn't really work out that great, so it just makes it harder to adjust. So you're better off just kind of taking most of it out, and that way you get that panel, it'll sit all the way down, and then you'll be able to make your final adjustment here. And that's usually what I do, is I get it all the way down where I need it, and then whatever's left up here, that'll be pretty much my final cut line. And then you can butt weld it, or if you, however you want to do it, you don't have to do it like that. You can give it some and buy the step tool, put a step in it, and then just kind of spot weld it and seam seal it. But I'm probably gonna butt weld it. So okay, so I'll show you what I mean. So I took out that, you know, that corner. Oh, that's not a good example. It's a dust shield or a heat shield, but yeah, I got rid of that corner so you can see that panel. Its corner sits now below everything, and is able to get that nice and sunk in there, and it's actually sitting pretty good. So this is good. It's right on the flange that we made. It's right on the flange here. So not looking too bad. There will be some correction. I have to take it and kind of do this just a little bit, because we got it like overhanging, but that's pretty normal with an aftermarket panel. You're gonna have to tweak it some way, but for the most part, this is pretty good. And the other thing, I was just doing a rough fit up to see how well this would look right now. Not too bad. I'm trying to do this holding the phone, and yeah, it's about roughly how it would sit. It's got some fine tuning down here because it's not sitting all the way on the floor pan. And if I have it sit there, that's kind of how it sits there. So it's a little, you know, crooked, but on this side, it's actually really good. But I'm not too worried about it, because this stuff, I had a feeling I was going to have to, you know, just tweak it, bend it up a little bit. And sometimes, some situations, if it doesn't match up perfectly, you know, I'd put like a relief cut here and get this stuff to sit on the floor pan, and then same thing with this one. But yeah, that'll be at the end whenever I'm double checking my measurements that I took here, make sure, oh, that's all square and whatnot. So all right, test fit number 2. I'm gonna take a look up here and see what I need to do to get this to work. All right, so here's the good news. This is what I just got done doing. I crawled in here like this. So I get my weight on this, I can sit on here. And I literally just started just stomping right here in this corner, because I know this is the part that had to go down. So I just stomped all that. And see, it's still sitting the way it was. It's actually, you know, parallel with everything. Looks pretty straight like it would. So I go back to this. Looks pretty good. And look what we did. It matches really well now. So yeah, we're gonna keep going with this fit up here. Okay. So I did end up taking off the rest of this original flange that was on here, and it was part of the original floor pan. I was gonna leave it, but it's just one of those things, like just putting it back how it was. So I decided to get it all drilled out, and I now got the floor pan. I bent a new flange, so I got that pretty much lined up. And see, it was the pattern from my old one there. It matches up with the other one, how I marked it. So I see how I bent the new one. So now we have just like the original floor pan. So we'll have that there. Essentially, this is pretty much how it'll go in. And then whenever I go to do the final fit up, I'm just gonna cut along that white line. And typically when I cut, I will cut not on that white line. I'll drop it down. Usually I start maybe around 1/4 inch below that line, because when you every time you take out a little bit more material, things settle in just a little bit more. So I'm trying to give it room that it'll drop down just a pinch more, and then that'll work out perfect. All right, so you can see I got some welding going on now. So I do have the floor pan tacked in place. I kind of just started to weld the rest of it in. So I got it tacked all there. Got a couple tacks up there and there. And actually on the inside, I got them over here on the floor, and then one right here on the floor, and then I have some on the side to lock it in. So now this seam, I am gonna butt weld the whole thing. You don't have to. You can actually see how much it overlapped is by those tacks. You could definitely just weld it on both sides, like tack it in place and seam seal, and that would be perfectly fine for a repair. But I'm just doing it this way just because I can and I want to. So, and then I have a 1, 2, and I'll probably drill those ones out. I got, yeah, about 10 more to do right there, and that'll take care of that. Okay, so progress now is, this did have a little lip on it, but to get this all fit right, I actually had to drop it down and kind of like in like that. So I got all my measurements for the holes and everything spot on, and everything else was looking great. So I just had to cut out these little strips here, and I got one more little spot. So that'll be the new flange that'll get all spot welded whenever it goes back on for good. So my next step is I'm going to pull this all off because I got my self tappers, so I can put it back exactly where it was and get everything nice and tight there. But I got to take it all off so I can weld my new flanges on. And then I had to put a small relief cut in right here just to kind of push it, that little corner right here. And then I still have to weld that gap. I see it there. I never welded that. And then get everything prepped. So I know it's got that EDP coating or whatever it is, but I'm still gonna just kind of lightly scuff it, and I'm gonna hit it with some primer sealer all under that and on the inside of the cab corner. And then that way, when I go to weld it on, I have that more added layer of protection. And I'll just kind of show you how it's fitting. So self tappers help, just hug it. That way you can get your spot weld holes and stuff drilled, and then you'll be able to cinch those down and weld them all up. I didn't even touch this rear portion of it yet, but you could pretty much just push it up and it'll hit. I just got the bottle jack to provide pressure, so it sits like that, but it's pretty good. I'm still trying to decide if I like the aftermarket style of panel versus the original, how it's got that like flange there, and then actually had like this whole piece here, that's all one, but that's just how they did it originally. So truthfully, I don't know. All right, it's been a little bit since I could get back to it, but finally got the floor pan here all wrapped up. Got it all butt welded all the way around. Got everything pretty much knocked down to where I want it. And then just finished doing all the spot welds right there, all up in there. Finished putting a couple up top into the flange. That way it goes through all the stuff that I made here. So all these panels are all locked together. That's some of the old flux core work. That's the one. Oh no, that's this one. That's the one I did today with the MIG. So I got that all done. Again, some of the old flux core work, and then I got the rest of these all done. So it's locked in, all beautiful. Knocked down some of those welds. I gotta just knock down these just a little bit, and that's all it is knocking it down. I'm not grounding them flush, because top coat it with seam sealer or whatever I'm gonna do. I actually don't know yet, but generally that's what I do, seam sealer and then some type of paint, then undercoating eventually. So yeah, we're all done. So Okay, so now that I got this floor pan all wrapped up, I'm just curious, let me know in the comments, like, what do you guys do next? Do you guys just spray bomb it, throw carpet down? Do you seam seal even though you knock down all this stuff and then put some type of coating on? I'm probably going to use the Eastwood Platinum Encapsulator Plus. I've used it in the past with some very good results. I actually have a video on doing that in square body, so you guys can check that out. I'll put a link in the description. It's a quick video, it just kind of shows you how I go through the process of doing that and what it looks like at the end. And it was very durable because I never put carpet in that truck, and I just threw tools in it all the time because it was always going off-road or camp or something. So, but yeah, let me in the comments, let me know what you guys do to finish up the floor like this. It is a different day. So what I did is I just went around and just hit it with some primer sealer just to protect everything, so top and bottom underneath there with the cab mount. But that's going to end it for just, this second part here. The next stage here is I'm going to start working on this a little bit, and you see I got little spots, so this will take a minute to just kind of get squared away. So anyways, so yeah, thanks for checking out the video. Thanks for your support. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.